RTD Live Talk, Detroit's #1 YouTube talk show. Back at it again for another live stream on this Thursday. Looking forward to connecting and finding out what's on your radar, what you guys have been keeping an eye on. Apologize for my tardiness. I was lost track of time. I was doing some little artwork on my side and wanted to continue a discussion from earlier with one of the community members in reference to XRP and all of the information that's out there now circulating around, what's happening, what's going to happen, things like that. So hope everyone's doing well. Got a lot of headline stories I want to touch on in reference to how XRP, no doubt, is the preferred method to completely fulfill the globalist / deep states agenda. And I'm going to share my 2 cents as to why that is, as well as touch on whatever else you guys have on your radar. So as always, for those tuning in, any new members to the community, let me know where you're watching from via the chat. And then the phone lines open up. 313-462-0027 is the number to let your voice be heard. All right. So what I'll do is I'll jump in the chat real quick, acknowledge a couple people, and then just go through all the headlines. I didn't get a chance to put it all together, but just the headlines themselves, I think, do a good job of letting you know how things will play out. And so we got JoJo checking in. We got the Mass Administrator. We got Stacker NZ. We got Antang, 30 trillion. We got Barlight Broker. We got James checking in. Jim Diggs, appreciate you, man. What else we got? Daryl checking in. James, you see. Okay, fair amount of people tuning in. And for those that are just joining in, if you don't mind, hit the thumbs up button. Show your support for the channel. Hopefully more people are notified and people can plug in and just share their 2 cents as to what they're seeing in their neck of the woods. But I want to just kind of pick up from an earlier discussion with one of the community members via Twitter. A great back and forth, and my point in being as critical as I've been for the last, several years, as I've witnessed the whole cryptocurrency space turn from disruption to just more so compliance, in a sense of just waiting to get all the regulatory clearance and things like that out of the way so that we can get this, narrative of going to the moon underway. And so along with that, I always take the standpoint of just being a skeptic. So I'm not a hater, just a concerned speculator, as I put earlier. But as of right now, what seems to be getting a lot of people's attention is the XRP litigation is underway, and how there's the possibility of some information being revealed going back to some old emails from 2012 that establishes whether or not XRP and the whole staff and the team knew it was a security or not, and all that stuff. And I have some good news for all my XRP holders out there. Be of good cheer. XRP will go. XRP will succeed, but not necessarily for the reasons that we all would hope that it would succeed. And the reason I say that is because XRP, as well as some of the other protocols, they've been chosen by the same people that's responsible for all this madness. And once they put their finger on it, once they put their hand on it, it's as good as saying it's good to go. So don't worry, XRP will do fine. It's going to hit all-time highs. But then the biggest thing will be, will you be able to get out in time? Because the protocol itself, based upon a little bit of the smidgen of information I've been able to dive through today, it's more than I. There's more than one blockchain. And I believe that history is any repeater of itself. There's going to be a lot of blacklisting going on of addresses. And I'll share my 2 cents on that and go from there. But okay, so let's keep it moving. Let me just jump right into some things I want to touch on and open the phone lines, or rant less and get your guys here. And as I'm noticing that my camera is lagging. Let me try to correct some things on my end real quickly. Give me a second. Hopefully let me switch my cameras just so that I can hopefully, because I'm noticing a lot of lagging on my side. Hopefully I can switch something out. Let me try. Gotta tweak my background. Give me 1 second. Gotta get this blend correct. All right, there we go. Okay, so hopefully things, let me know how it looks better. Hopefully it's less lag. But anyway, apologize. Things on the fly. Okay, so let me jump right into what I want to touch on, and we can touch on a variety of other things. All types of things unfolding right now. But let me jump right in. And so this is the thumbnail, or this is the artwork I was working on. So my goal was just to work on this, just to work on this, or as I put it up here, go his way. So yeah, my goal was just to work on this because once the World Economic Forum approves something, it's basically saying it's good as gold. And so Klaus Schwab has his hands all on XRP. So don't worry. XRP gonna beat the litigation. They're going to be just fine. Why? Because the global establishment need XRP as a part of their agenda to enslave humanity further. So don't worry about that. It's going to be okay. But here's the thing. One thing I was thinking about also is for a lot of the community members not community, just people in general who are extremely excited about XRP. To me, it's kind of like, are you funding your own demise? Are you quote unquote sleeping with the enemy? The whole idea of decentralized blockchain, yada yada, was designed or sold to us as being disruptive. But the moment people invest in a protocol that is being used, that was positioned to be used by the banks itself, you're literally supporting something that cryptocurrency was supposed to be against. So that's more of my skepticism as to why, I'm very leery of it. But I hope I'm wrong. I do hope I'm wrong. Okay, so let's jump right in, keep moving along. So that's why I'm late doing this little thumbnail. But let me stop ranting. Okay, so here's something worthwhile. This is just as of today, as of yesterday, right? It says SEC versus Ripple. Here's how 2012 memo turned the tide in the milestone crypto case. And so all eyes are on this case here because it will set the foundation as to whether or not the cryptocurrencies, prior to 2017-ish or whatever, might be considered, securities or will not be, yada, yada, yada. Okay. But like I said before, don't worry about it. Klaus Schwab approved it already, so you're good. So here's just more information as to, what's the stake and all the legal memos and back and forth. Basically, it's only been held up in the U.S., but it's accepted all around the world. So it's already been utilized heavily by the banks and things like that. Okay, keep moving. So none of these are they're just able to grab them. But, when I caught this, it says World Economic Forum names XRP as the crypto asset most relevant in the central bank digital currency space. So that right there is pretty much, it's good to say that if all these politicians are compromised individuals, they're all on a take, adhering to the World Economic Forum and all the higher ups, then, once again, XRP is going to be just fine, but not for the necessarily purposes that you would want them to be. Because I'm going to get to why I think all XRP wallets that are not a part of that, the central banking protocol, might end up having some problems if you don't get out in time. And so to dive further, I did spend a little time reading through this. So this is the World Economic Forum's, basically, as it says here, committed to improving the state of the world. This is their insight report. And so this basically is lock in step with the center of the fourth industrial revolution. And XRP is a part of this. So that's why XRP has to succeed. But there's more than one XRP is what I'm about to get to. So as you thumb through this report real quick, and it just gives you some of the background problems, CBDC, digital payments, the hybrid CBDC, operational risk, and all stuff like that. But then all blockchains are not created equal. Here's some of the front people who are responsible for this. But if you go down here to the different categories of blockchains, probably utilizing XRP, this is where things probably will get a little bit tricky for my XRP holders. And of course, this is just me being skeptical, being a speculator that's a concern. So there's different types. There's the wholesale CBDC, the retail CBDC, and then the hybrid CBDC, then the DLT-based CBDC. So there's different types of CBDC. So mind you, this is just my suspicion. The current XRP that is available now for the retail investor happened to be the one that David Schwartz and all those people who created Jaleb McCaleb and all them all those cats, the particular blockchain that they created, they initiated, I think it was 100 million tokens or something like that, or something like that, to raise funds. So it was a fundraising opportunity for them to be able to develop the technology that they're using to then support the World Economic Forums and central banks and too big to fail banks, which is what this is all for. Like this right here, it convinces me more now than ever that with the whole economist cover from 1987, you know how I gotta let it bring that cover up, how XRP was, what the bankers had in mind. Like, this is what they had in mind probably all along, just because, this is XRP as a payment networking system or messaging system for easy remittance payments, is, all that interbank lending, instant transactions, 1,500 transactions a second or whatever. This is what they had in mind when they said get ready for world currency, because it's not the actual token itself. It's not the actual coin itself. In my opinion, it's the network. It's the lifeline, or the quote unquote the blood of the entire structure for things to flow through, is what this cover was all about when they say get ready for a world reserve currency. Because the XRP, in my opinion, that we have now will not be the XRP that will be available come a couple years from now. And why do I say that? Just because when you read through this World Economic Forum definitions of the wholesale, the retail, and the hybrid, those are different blockchains. We all know that the CBDCs that the central banks will use will not be the same publicly visible ledger that the XRP is currently running on now. And then make it even worse, let me go and find some more. Let me see here. Give me 1 second here. And so let me get to some more here. Okay, so here's proof right here. So Ripple makes private blockchain for building central bank digital currency. So this will be the private version that the average retail holder will have in your wallet from the Federal Reserve, the European Central Bank, whatever Asian market or whatever. This is the retail version. So this is a completely different ledger provided by the Ripple networking program entity, or whatever they call themselves, or whatever. So as Mike Otto said, the bridge. Okay. And so that's just one variation of how XRP will be used. Mind you, it's completely different from the one that you have in your wallet right now if you're a holder. And so keep it moving. And one of the biggest issues that I've had that makes me always question the narrative is how many nodes are there? And so when I went to XRP, mind you, this is all stemming from a conversation earlier with one of the community members. Great back and forth. And it was just one of the things where, just having some fun, just talking. And so not even really having dived deep into the, just to the nitty gritty of XRP like that, just because never really, I was immediately turned off when I knew that XRP was designed specifically for the banking system. And so that right there to me was an automatic no-no, because I don't feel comfortable putting my hard-earned funds to work for the banking establishment. And so let me just real quick grab a couple more things to pull up here, and then I will stop ranting and let you guys have at me. And feel free to bring the pain. It's okay. We can definitely have a good discussion, just because I think this is stuff that we need to talk about. But let me, okay, so I'm trying to go to the XRP. Give me 1 second here. As I mentioned, lost track of time, and I was not able to fully grab everything I needed, but bear with me if you don't mind. As always, for those tuning in, hit the thumbs up button, show your support for the channel, as well as hit that subscribe button if you want to be notified. So here is a little snippet that I grabbed from their own page. So here is just a section of the XRP website that I grabbed. And so my skepticism has always been, it's too centralized. It is too centralized to the point where I actually went to try to find more information on, who actually are these validators that's running these nodes. I couldn't find anything, mind you. I'm not that didn't go too deep for it, but this is just what's on the current page. Now I see in the chat, and we know says there's 92 validators. Okay, so according to this right here, which is probably outdated, but this is their website, it says there are currently 36 validators, and Ripple runs 6 of them, which equals 16%. Take of it what you may. So they might be outdated on their own website. But my question is, who are the validators? Are they publicly listed? I don't know. I question it. But then I realized, if this is all about providing the banking system with the payment network needed to execute their agenda of interbank commerce, interbank trade, interbank settlement, and then to provide an additional layer for the CBDC. So think about it right here. CBDCs is going to be one protocol, one layer, one structure, privately centrally controlled by banks. The too big to fail banks will have their own ledger for their interbanking ordeals. And then there's a third, XRP, which will be the publicly visible, completely trackable, traceable, ledgers that, are pretty common in this, decentralized space. So that's three different possible protocols or bridges or however it might be worded. And so the next thing I had was, who are some of the partners? And I'm like, I'd imagine some of the validators. Would the validators, i.e. partners, would probably be the people who benefit the most from it. And it will be the banks, the too big to fail banks globally, as well as a lot of other people we will never find out about. But here's an interesting article. It says list of leading partners of Ripple and how they use XRP. So we got all these financial institutions right here that are invested because they need the technology that comes from this world-renowned network that the bankers themselves have chosen to basically get us to the next monetary paradigm. And so these are the same entities here that have caused all the problems with humanity by basically utilizing fractional reserve lending to lend and create fictitious currency into existence to flood the world with it. And here we are now. People are literally, by holding and spending and buying XRP, are you supporting the same entities that we're supposed to be disrupting? I don't know. Take it of it what you must. But here's 20 of the leading partners of Ripple. And this was as of a couple weeks ago. And so it's good to say that there's more. Bank of America is involved, American Express, Santander, SBI Holdings, MoneyGram. So all the people that right now are on the cusp of freezing depositors' accounts if they don't comply with government restrictions, people are probably putting some funds in their pocket, helping them out. But this is on the banking side of things. Keep it moving. And then here's something else that lets me know that, just makes me question more. Here is Ripple partners with central bank digital currencies think tank. So mind you, the think tank, remember I showed a visual aid the other day. Let me actually pull it up real quick. That just talks a little bit about think tanks. Where do we see the word think tanks? Let me copy this right here. Give me 1 second. Let me just share with you another place where we saw the word think tank. Could this think? Let me grab this real quick. Give me 1 second. Let me grab this 1 second. As I mentioned, I was just going to do a quick rant on this, not make it too extensive, just because this is just my hypothesis. I could be 100% wrong. I hope I am, but we'll find out. So I showed this image the other day about the collaboration of the public and private sector with a lot of compromised politicians and bankers, both CBDC as well as a lot of the blockchain protocol people. They're on the take as well. And so here's the pyramid of power. And of course, at the very bottom, the debt slaves, the fiat currency holders, savers, and users, at the expense of all the publicly visible entities. We got the religion, government, yada, yada, whatever. But then when you zoom in to the top, here's another word, think tanks. Think tanks. So this is a trilateral coalition, Royal Institute, whatever, Club of Rome, Council of Foreign Relations, United Nations, the Bilderberg Group, and I would probably throw the World Economic Forum in there as well, Klaus Schwab. So this goes back to my whole summation that, once Klaus Schwab puts his approval on it, it's good as gold for them, not for you. And so these think tanks are collaborating with XRP and the like, and they're out here trying to execute their agenda, of which they told us all about this, well in advance. So none of this is new. We were told that around this time frame, there will be a world currency. So we are actually looking for a single entity in the form of a currency, when in actuality, in my opinion, it's the network that's being used that, once again, it appears to be for the people, by the people. Believe me, when stuff hits the fan, when it gets tough out there, we're going to find out something different. And then here is the actual, all these entities, all these think tanks that I just pointed at, the World Economic Forum, World Bank, ISO, it was SWIFT, all these entities that are working together right now, conspiring against humanity. If they've approved all of these, that lets you know that there's going to be an alternative agenda or a flipping of the switch as time moves forward. And, just the question is, will you be on the right side of history? Are you basing and putting all your hopes and dreams and ambitions on having got in on these protocols early in hopes of being able to get out later, that's something to consider. And then the last one, I'm gonna stop ranting. I also mentioned about blacklisting. And so it's my suspicion that as time moves forward, the protocols will succeed. They're going to go to the moon. XRP be $10, $15, $20. Okay, sure. And then at some point, when all those entities, think tanks, World Economic Forum, UN, all those people, when they're ready to cut off that third XRP layer or bridge or whatever to the conventional retail average bag holder out there, it won't be hard for them to change consensus, because if it is as concentrated in the hands of the banks as the validators, or these same BIS, World Economic Forums, as the validators and nodes, then it'll be easy, as I said, to send an email to all interested parties to basically change the consensus and just somehow, some way, as they say, either soft fork it, hard fork, whatever they got to do to make sure that all the unregistered, all unrecognized wallet addresses on the XRP retail side is blacklisted. And just to let you know how easy it is, if you don't write the code, then you don't know how they can all of a sudden have built something in, even though it's open source, supposedly, they can change the game like they always do. And this is why I think, people who are dependent upon computer code to win in something that they deliberately told us they're trying to pull off, is like, it could be fool's gold. So the last one here, I'm gonna start ranting. And so here's another interesting example of how, if you don't write the code, do you actually have access in its entirety to your wallet? And so it says, Floki Inu announces existential crisis. Blacklist users who cashed in on the bug. And this is just an example. I don't know the depths of none of this stuff. This is clearly a centrally controlled coin, but the operators who were able to pull off this heist of blacklisting addresses, they had enough power because of their possession of the nodes to be able to do such. But give an idea here. I read through this. It says the purpose of the blacklist is to force the bug's beneficiaries to return or destroy the excess tokens in order to have their wallets be unlocked. So the people who were actually part of this heist at creating a double spin of the Floki Inu coin, they could see it because it's public knowledge. And they basically say, based upon this date and this time, your wallet got too big. Here you go. We've built it into the code where you can't do nothing with it until you acknowledge it and then give them back or whatever. And then your wallet will be unlocked. So how easy would it be for XRP for them to do the same type of thing? And that's amongst many other projects. I'm not just picking on XRP, but I'm just saying, if it's created for the big boys, i.e. the think tanks, the global cabal, do you actually think all the way through you're going to win, would be my question. So anyway, I can rant on and on, but I'm not. And then to piggyback on even more, just on a little side note, this is an article fresh off the press right here, dealing with cryptocurrencies. And so this one here, I like this view. It says FBI to form new digital currency unit as Department of Justice Department taps a new crypto czar. And so basically the FBI and the Department of Justice is about to work together to, as they say here, crack down on illicit uses of cryptos and things of that nature. So it just says the U.S. Department of Justice Department has tapped a seasoned computer science prosecutor to lead his new national cryptocurrency enforcement team. Announced Thursday that the FBI is launching a unit for blockchain analysis and virtual asset seizure. Blockchain analysis and virtual asset seizure. Sounds a lot like locking up wallets, blacklisting wallets, and the like. You can't make this stuff up. This is a part of a much bigger plan than what we on the surface are able to see. And they've disguised it as allowing people to benefit off this transition, while all along it was a booby trap, in my opinion. So anyway, I'm done ranting. I'm not going to do it no more. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Where have I missed it? Mind you, this is just me looking for headlines. I didn't dive below the surface, because I don't really think I need to go below the surface to realize that, the game is against me, not for me, especially if there's different measurements of how they're going to try to pull this off. So anyway, let's talk. Throw out some thoughts, questions. Let me know where I'm wrong. And let's get the first call here and see what we got here. Hello, caller. Where we calling from?
Yeah, Mike, Steve, Pima Region 9.
Steve, what's going on, my friend?
Hey, number one is, did your package arrive? Did you pick it up yet?
I did not. I will jump on that.
Oh.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah. So it's there. Hey, but let me get back to this. I think you're right on point with everything. I sent you two emails.
Okay.
One with David Spangler.
Okay.
And the other one's one verse from Ephesians chapter 6.
Okay.
If you can go ahead and read those, two, the Spangler one first,
yeah,
and then the Ephesians first, second, and I'll just get off the line and let you go.
Good deal. So I got the first one here. David Spangler says, no one will enter the New World Order unless he or she will make a pledge to worship Lucifer. No one will enter the New Age unless he will take a Luciferian initiation. That's from David Spangler. Okay.
Yeah, and he was with the UN. And it will come back to, people need to think, why are these people in power? Why are they saying these things?
Right.
They mean what they say.
Right.
They mean what they say. And then the Ephesians chapter 6, and I'll go ahead and get off the line, and you can go from there. Just want to hear other people.
Let me put it on here real quick. Let me pull it up real quick. It says, we got Ephesians 6:12. It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Spiritual wickedness in high places. I wonder, like, where those spiritual wickedness, like, what could that possibly be implying to? The spiritual wickedness in high places, as I look for my little thumbnail thingy.
Exactly.
Spiritual wickedness in high places.
I sent you a Fox. I sent you something from Fox earlier, where Biden was talking, and I don't think it was a slip of the tongue. I just think that they believe we're too stupid to see it. Biden said something to the effect, "Well, I'm working like the devil to get things straightened out," or something. He said something like that. I don't think that's a slip of the tongue.
Yeah.
Or I think he's saying it because he thinks people are too stupid to realize that he means what he says.
Yeah.
but
I'll listen to it, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Basically, it's on your email from earlier. It says Biden says blah blah blah.
All right, bet.
Anyway,
I'll check it out, man. Appreciate you.
Pick up your package, bro.
I will do so. Thank you, man.
Later.
Yeah, be good. Okay, good stuff. So here's a little Hannity Combs and the quote, work like the devil. And of course they highlighted this. So I'm sure it's about 3 minutes or so. So it might be longer than I can play. But if anybody interested, it's out there. Coming straight from Brandon's mouth. Hello, caller. Where you calling from?
Hey, Mike. How you doing? It's Chapo from Philly. How are you?
Chapo, doing good, man. What's on your mind?
So I'm not here to say that I'm right or wrong. I don't know what's the right or wrong. I'm not saying that you're wrong or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But I think you got little things confused a little bit. So I think you're confusing exchanges with actual private, like with an actual ledger, like a hardware wallet ledger. Okay. Mm-hmm. So unless you own the keys to that crypto, you have no ownership of it. That's what people don't really realize, right? So if you're on Uphold or if you're on Coinbase, you don't own that crypto. That crypto is actually it's given to you through a trust, right? And unless you're given the keys to that crypto, meaning that the long strung out thing, you don't own that crypto.
Correct.
So you say that there's a possibility for them to seize my XRP, correct? Now,
so watch this. So in accordance to their visibility of certain addresses and how they may be able to restrict, limit, or freeze the actual wallet addresses from interacting with centrally controlled entities such as exchanges or financial institutions or stuff like that. Like, so you might be able to do a peer-to-peer. Like, I might be able to send it to you directly to get it out of my hands if it's some hot coins. But then again, they see it me going to you. Then now I'm a conspiracy tour. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. But centrally controlled exchange is true. So, you can't get back out. Go ahead.
But as far as like, I guess that might be true. I'm not sure. But my XRP right now is sitting in a ledger inside my safe, which is completely offline. Mm-hmm. No one has access to it. There's no online capability to it unless I put it into my computer, right? But another thing we have to realize is like XRP is not going to be used as a daily currency. That's not the purpose of XRP.
Right.
XRP is going to be used as a bridge currency. So it's my opinion that each nation will eventually have their own sovereign currency. Okay. Mm-hmm. Because the whole point of this XRP and primarily crypto is to provide a level playing field. Okay.
Right.
For the entire world. Okay. To have access to the International Monetary Fund.
Right.
Right now, unless you're part of the IMF, you have no access to the dollar. Right. And what is the dollar? The dollar is a weapon. We all know that. They use the SWIFT payment system as a weapon. You can see that right now with what's going on in Russia. Mm-hmm. Biden is threatening to use the SWIFT payments, threatening to take them off the SWIFT payments.
Right.
And Russia's laughing at them because they have gold in their safe, so they don't care about the SWIFT payment system. Why do they want to mess with the fiat dollar? You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and another thing is like, it's not going to be strictly. We live in a digital currency era right now. Okay. Correct. All of our banks are using ledgers. They're just not using encrypted ledgers.
Correct.
Okay. So the encryption is the security. The encryption allows you to be sovereign. It allows you to hold your crypto without anyone's access to it, unless you give them those keys, or you're afraid. Okay.
Right.
So I don't think that we should be, one or the other. I really think it's going to be both. I think there's going to be like the gold that you hold in your possession right now is just going to be just as valuable as the XRP that I hold in mine. Now, you have to also go back and look into the Basel Accords, the Basel 1, 2, and 3. If you look into those, what does it say? It says that, gold and silver will become tier 1 assets. I believe that's what it says.
Correct. Oh, it says gold. It says gold. I don't think they include silver, but silver follows.
Okay. Well, either way, I mean, if you look at that, what does that tell you? That tells you that they're giving power to more sound currencies, right?
Right.
Like, so you could take your gold eventually, I think, whenever those rules are implemented, and you could take your gold and take it to the bank and get back fiat dollars if you want.
Yeah.
I mean, for us to assume that, everything's going to hit the fan and then the dollar's going to collapse and then we're going to go into chaos and we're going to be bartering with metals, I just think that's a little naive to think that. And God, I pray that that's not what happens, because we will be in trouble.
Right.
Now, we'll be good because we prepared, but I mean, it's just not realistic to me. I mean, we have this technology and, I understand 100% where you're coming from with the whole, Klaus Schwab stuff, right? I was skeptical as well, but these people are making too many mistakes to actually be in charge. Okay, it's my thought that these people are not actually in charge. I think they're all puppets for whatever reason. It's a great awakening. Okay, it's a slow process. You can't wake people up overnight. You got to slowly build it. Okay, so you see these things like the Trump revolution, stuff like that. It's slowly waking people up. But one more thing.
Yeah.
So, you say that XRP is a trap, right? You know the percentage of people around the world that actually own XRP is very, very, very tiny.
Very tiny, but enough. Very, very tiny, but enough to cause damage to a lot of people, financially speaking, if it turns out to be more than what they bargained for.
Yeah, but it's not enough to take over the world, though.
Of course not.
Right,
so, no, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying, it's like we're almost like in a purgatory right now. Okay, it's like we're in the middle of heaven and hell. Okay, it's like we look at what these people in charge, these 13 families that call the shots. What they did back in the World War II when they really had a genocide against people, and they really after Russia and everything like that went into with all the murders and stuff from these dictators.
Yeah,
that is hell, right?
Yeah.
But even with the pandemic, they failed at that. They didn't succeed one bit at that. You know what I mean? We won as the people. We won. So it's just like okay, if they're as evil as they are, as everyone claims Klaus Schwab is, and he probably is, but I don't think that's the guy calling the shots. I think there's people behind the scenes that are anyway. But like, if they're that evil and they're really gonna take our money that we actually just traded fiat money in for anyway, that isn't worth anything anyway.
Yeah.
Like, then they're doing it they're just doing it halfway. And it's like we're just going to be stuck in this limbo or purgatory. Unless, like, if they really want to take over the world, they could do that.
Yeah.
And they could do it in other ways. And it just doesn't add up to me. And I get it. I love the skepticism, man. I love the discussion back and forth.
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it. Like,
No
shield the shield. So I'll let you go, man. But thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for calling in, man. Real quick before I take any more calls, let me just share my 2 cents on that. So as far as XRP, so once again, I'm just want to have an open discussion. I'm not a hater. I'm just a concerned speculator because I mentioned I am involved. I do have interest in certain protocols. I'm more excited than ever in the projects that offer a sense of privacy. That is a real threat, not open source surveillance coin projects to me. So, but as far as XRP, you know, my biggest concern is this. You know, they say not your keys, not your coins. Okay, sure. So it's in your ledger, in your safe. You ain't gonna plan on touching it. Man, you do got to update your firmware every now and then. But then again, my concern is not at the actual address level. It's at the validator, the node level when it comes to consensus. My point is, I think they're going to change the rules of the game, i.e., rewriting some script to then come to consensus in the fact that they need to now address the investors that they do not want to profit off of this transition. Mind you, when orders come from up high, from whoever, so once again, Klaus Schwab is just a puppet. He's just a spokesman for the people above him. Once they come down and say, we don't want to have no more exits, no more ramps off into fiat or anything else. We want solely everybody to have our CBDC style things. Then that's when I think we're going to find out more about what's really inside the code. Because mind you, it's computer code. And that's why I just don't have confidence in its entirety in computer code. Even in the computer code in my bank account, I don't have confidence in it. Because if it, once again, we're creditors to the banks. So my biggest thing is they're trying to take us solely digital. They're trying to remove all physical property. And this is a key distinction to me as to where we're at now and where they're trying to take us. Right now in the real world, and I was even talking earlier about, the importance of, and I always like to pinpoint this graph right here, if I can find it, if I still got it up here. If I can bring this up real quick. This graph is extremely important. This is the periodic table. Every single element on here has an atomic structure of protons and neutrons that create actual real world physical items that make up real life. Everything that they're trying to do, they're trying to remove that from us, trying to trick us to think that there's still the perceived notion of value through solely using computer code, and that through that protocol mechanism, you can be a part of this revolutionary change, and then gives you access to a digital art on a blockchain called NFT, or you can buy some real estate in a virtual reality world, or you can, whatever else comes along with that. There's about 10, there's probably 1,000 other inventions that can be utilized through computer code, but they lack real world substance, i.e. the elements, the chemical elements needed to create life and create real tangible things, which is what they're trying to take from us. Because they told us you'll own nothing and be happy with it. How do they get to that point unless they deceive a lot of people into thinking that it's a fair exchange or fair trade-off to give up some of your energy, time, and effort to get into some coins to then watch them grow in fiat terms at the same time they're destroying fiat, and then cut off all the exit points. So you're either stuck with it, or you got to use it directly, or you got to go back into their CBDCs. That's just me on a long rant. But it is what it is. Anyway, I'm missing all types of calls, man. Forgive me. I'm bad at rant and answering calls. Thunder Sound says, you are correct. The algorithm for networks like XRP and XLM are based on consensus algorithms. And so who controls all that was to be the point. And so literally the people who wrote the script, the people who are running and orchestrating this, those are the people that's closest to the code creators. And therefore the code creators will rewrite the code to get it to the other nodes and validators to approve it or deny it. And if they approve it, which they will, because all the validators and the nodes are the banks, they are the entities that are putting this together. you up a creek without a paddle, buddy. In those protocols where they already got, so 92 validators for XRP. That's still not enough. Okay, let me get this call. Forgive me. Hello, caller. Where we calling from? Hello?
Hey there, is this me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, it's Typo.
Typo.
Massachusetts.
Yes. What's going on with it? Give me a quick thought.
Quick thought. All over the United States, people are going into their school committee meetings and pulling bonds. And so there is a website called Bonds for the Win. And it allows us to give them 5 days to stop breaking the law. Quite literally, it is changing state after state so quickly. It's amazing to watch.
Yeah.
And so with that, one of the things that is valuable, if your kids are in the school system, bam, you can stop the critical race theory. You can stop anything that they're doing that is breaking the law, having bad books in their school. So if you go to bondsforthewin.com, they have a state-by-state listing. You can look on your state, and you can see that people are doing this. It is amazing. Now, when it comes to monetary notes, we can do this all the way up through the chain of the pyramid for elected officials. So it takes some homework because you have to identify the laws that they've broken and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But it is amazing to see. So even in our monetary system, when we get up to the Senate, when we get up to those, whatever state you're in, when we get to the pulling the states down, that is the method that is working. So I just wanted to put that in for any listeners, and go to Bonds for the Win. It's a very serious, beautiful movement. I think, and you can go on the Telegram site, Bonds for the Win, state by state, so you can look up your state and take part and discuss it and see who's doing what school system. Then it goes up to committee. Then it goes up to all the NGOs, non-governmental organizations. And it is beautiful. So I just wanted to put that out there. I'm not
Appreciate you.
the subject.
No,
Have a great day.
Appreciate you. Thank you for calling in.
Bye.
Hello, caller. Where you calling from?
This is Coolest White Dude from Yashkaba, Mexico.
What's going on, my man?
Mike, you offended me a little bit with one of the things that you said.
Okay, I offended you. Go ahead. Give it what I do.
Well, you said blacklisted. And as a white person, the coolest white person in Yashkaba, Mexico, I'm a little offended.
I apologize.
Mike,
Go ahead, man.
Mike, you know that time I called about 9/11 and people said, why are we still talking about this?
Yeah.
Why are we still talking about crypto? I mean, gold has been money for 5,000 years.
Very true. But I mean, I just thought I would bring it up just because I had an interesting discussion earlier about XRP, and it's a lot of stuff in the news, and a lot of people in that space are waiting for the verdict so that it can unleash the digital asset space to the moon. So I just want to just have these open discussions back and forth and, share my 2 cents.
No, I'm joking more than anything. I found it valuable, and I don't know much about it either. I did want to mention, though, I was in Yashkaba yesterday in the town, and they had the vaccination clinics operating in full force, and I talked to some of my English-speaking friends. Yeah. And they were on their third and fourth booster, so this is, I live in rural Mexico.
Yeah.
Oh, I purchased 7 sheep today, so I'm pretty happy about that.
7 sheep. That's real, man. That's real.
But keep up the good work and just watch, try to keep progressive terms like colored listing or something like that for the more sensitive comment folks.
All right. Good deal. Appreciate you, man.
Take care.
Be good. Yeah. So okay. So I like this. I like where this is heading because I'm looking in the chat and I see people say, "What's gold backed by?" So I just, one of the things, just remember, I'm gonna ask you because gold has been the chosen method of storing economic energy. Put it like that, economic energy throughout time, and it goes back, well before they use seashells and whatever. Anything can be used to exchange value if it's something you want. But anyway, so I thought this was interesting here because this goes beyond my understanding. I'm not a biologist, chemistry guy, not like that, but just the complexity of the creation of this particular element here is unique because out of the periodic table, all of them have a different chemical composition, giving it its uniqueness, which makes it one of a kind. And it's the equivalent of saying it was created by God himself. So if God was the creator, i.e. the computer code master behind all this, these atoms and the way it's put together with the amount of the atomic structure, atomic weight, atomic radius, the protons and electrons, and the energy and the neutron, all that technical stuff. This is the old way of saying this is, like trust the chemical composition, like trust the chemical composition for being something of continuous value throughout time because it's needed for multiple things. This is just gold. And then in comparison to the computer side of things, when you can look at ones and zeros and all the technical things that go into creating computer code, it's much different. This is complex. Only God can do this. And people, alchemy, they try to do things similar, but it'll never look like this in particular because it cannot be, in my opinion. Technology, of course, Satan wants to play God, so at some point they may create stuff like that. It can try to duplicate it. But the uniqueness of this pales in comparison to anything else. And with computer code, it was created by man. So you got created by God, created by man. You know what I'm saying? One has been here several centuries, millennium, and the other one been here, 12 years. You know what I'm saying? So just something about looking at this complexity of creation of energy in this form is just unique, in my opinion. But I could be wrong. Who knows? Just having a little open discussion. That's all. Hello, Carl. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Mike. It's Mike from Pacoima.
Mike, what's going on, man? Give me a quick thought.
Hey, you said gold was created by God, and Bitcoin, well, cryptocurrencies is created by man, but we don't know who created Bitcoin, so Bitcoin could be created by God, hypothetically speaking.
Anything is possible, sure.
But I was just thinking, you'll own nothing and be happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
People are selling everything to buy these digital illusions of wealth. Like, it's the new system. I don't care. Who gives a crap? It's a new fiat system. Who gives a crap about it? Like the last caller said, the coolest white dude in Mexico, he said, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, really? Like, we can literally, the only thing these people are going to own is a computer, a phone, a television, and some digits on the screen.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't sound like owning nothing behind, and they're happy to do it.
Yeah.
They're happy to do it.
Good point, man.
Maybe the plan is already taking hold and affected,
Yeah. It's possible, man. We will find out. Be patient. We will find out, man. But I just want to present a different way of looking at things, giving people something to chew on, make your own decisions, of course, but question everything, believe nothing until you do your own research. So, yeah, man. Appreciate your call, man.
Yeah, hey, thanks a lot for what you do, Mike.
Appreciate you.
Keep getting that weight up, right?
I will. 100%, man. Appreciate you.
Take it easy.
Hello, caller. Where you calling from?
Hey, what's going on? This is Troy from Dallas.
What's up, my friend? What's on your mind? Give me a quick thought.
Hey, well, just a quick thought, more along the theme of you will own nothing and be happy. That's pretty much what's already happened to the entertainment and music industry. You know, in the past 10 years, we've seen physical media disappear. So nobody owns tapes or CDs. And when you sign up for a streaming platform or you buy music on iTunes or whatever, you really don't even own that music. It's considered a lease. So they've kind of slowly been rolling us into this idea of not owning anything and getting used to it. You know, it would be cumbersome to have, for as many songs as people are introduced to now, it would be very cumbersome to have that amount of songs on physical CDs now, you know.
Right. Very true. That's a different way of looking at it. That's very true, man. They've been dwindling us away from real world items due to, and a lot of people, the techies that say, because of technological advances, you know, we've evolved as humans, so we don't need as much. We can still have access to everything and you know, and all that type of stuff. So yeah, I guess that could be a pro and a con too, I guess.
Well, yeah, and that's what I wanted to point to. A lot of these, the people that are ahead of this reset and everything, these people are into all these secular humanists, going back to Garden of Eden type of real weird people that think they can do these things. And they feel like I really feel like they want to, you know, because the whole concept of ownership, property ownership, money and everything, we forget that that's a fairly recent concept as well in terms of human anthropology. You know, a lot of societies for a long time, you know, that's why the colonial society took over the first world or the native people, because these people had no idea of ownership and anything like that. So everything that they saw that they were doing was foreign to them. So I think they want to get people back into that kindergarten, Garden of Eden type of state so that they can manage a world full of babies rather than a bunch of, you know, billions of capitalists out there striving to dominate and toil into the world, you know, because that would be their competition.
Very true, man. Hey, man, appreciate you calling and sharing that, my friend. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Hello, caller. Where you calling from?
Mike, pay me money bags to Lean, Texas.
Pay me money bags. What up, man? Give me a quick thought. What's on your mind?
Quick thought. I'm tripping on how everybody keep talking about you will own nothing and be happy. First of all, Mike, we already in that stage. We've been there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's driving me crazy. So real fast, let me interact with the chat. Just for the 235 people that's in this chat, if you are a law-abiding legal home owner, that means you paid off your house and you own it. Put a 1 in the chat. You know what I'm saying? I just want to see who physically own their house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, check this out. If you put a 1 in the chat and you say you own your house, Mike, you don't own your house, because if you stop paying property taxes, they're going to come take your shit.
Right.
So you already in the metaverse by paying a mortgage for 30 years. Okay, you pay it off. You're happy. You're celebrating. You miss a couple payments on your property taxes, whatever it is. 3 in 1, you're done. They're going to come snatch it up. Okay, let's go to government domain. You got 2,000 acres. And 10 years from now, we're economically building towards your 2,000 acres. And we know what? We need this bridge to go between this 2,000 acres. We don't care what trust funds you got, your family done tied it up. We are taking your 2,000 acres.
That's a good point.
Not only are we taking your 2,000 acres, we gonna make it to where you got to drive on the same bridge to remind you that we took your 2,000 acres.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another way of looking at it. Yeah, I can see you on that one, man.
So people gotta understand, when you coming through this new about your own nothing and be happy, you already don't own anything. You know what I'm saying? When you really, really want to look at the nitty gritty, you don't own anything. And if you think they can't come take your stuff, if y'all must not believe in American history. One day you had gold, the next day we woke up and we coming to take your gold. You know what I'm saying? So it goes on and on and on. You can go all the way down to vehicles. You get your car registered and all this stuff. You done paid it off and everything. let that car be in ownership and you quit paying insurance on it. See what kind of letters you get through You got a vehicle on the road that's not insured and yada yada yada. So
good stuff,
that's
man.
just a heads up. People got to know what time they in to educate themselves. But overall, good stuff, bro.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for calling in.
No problem.
Hello, caller. Where you calling from?
Hello, Mike. This is Bill Ariki from Stockholm, New Zealand. How are you?
I'm doing good, my friend. What's in your mind?
I'll keep it quite brief. With regards to you own nothing and we'll be happy. Yes, the process, as per your last caller, we are slightly living inside that process, but it's not yet there. As you can see, what they are doing with this participation, that you must take the poison 19, they are now trying to tell you, we've demanded that you don't own your body, that we control what you put inside your body. And that's not the only thing.
Yeah.
Even with your kids, now it's now government-owned kids that they are telling you that you cannot discipline your kids, because if you spare the rod, you spoil the child. So if there's no discipline for the kids, it ruins the society. So it's like the parents don't even have control, that the kids can actually change the agenda without the permission of the kids. Everything that they are saying now, that you own nothing and you'll be happy, like, it is crazy. Even your thought process, how you think, this Netflix that they are giving us, the government owned media, you are not thinking for yourself. Like, they are thinking for you. So you don't even own your own thought process. Like, it is crazy. I've done all these things in my video. So I'm like enlightening people, trying to get them aware of what is going on. Like, we need to resist. It has to be the great resistance. So they will not control us and they will be unhappy. So it's like they will control nobody and they will be unhappy. So we have to start that great resistance movement. So that is my own take on that, and I want to keep it short.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for sharing your 2 cents as always, man. Good to hear your voice again. Appreciate you.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, it's so bad that they're trying to take it down to your very thoughts. They want to be able to see your thoughts. And that's the Neuralink, Elon Musk Neuralink, and all the transhumanism agenda that this is heading towards. So this goes well beyond just the financial, gold, silver, crypto. This is a complete takeover of humanity. But we were told of this beforehand, so none of this should be surprising to anybody. All you have to do is just, read the good book, and you'll get a heads up as to what's going on and what's underway. But the good news is that we are already on the winning side, and I'm excited for that. But all right, people, that's all she wrote. Approaching our hour point. I appreciate everybody for hanging out with us. If you've enjoyed the back and forth, hit that thumbs up. Please show your support. And then also all the information you need down below is available. And also, I actually did a little bit of a rewrite to the 5 reasons to hold precious metals before the Great Reset or the Great Recession. I should put reset, but I made that little ebook available for those that are interested. But it's not for those that are awake and aware. It's for those who have no clue as to what's going on. So download it, share it with family and friends, get them something to chew on. It's all factual. It's all stuff based upon history, so you can learn from it. But the link to that will be below. And other than that, be blessed, be safe, and I will see you guys on the flip side. Visit Rethinking the Dollar throughout the day, your place for news on metals, gold, crypto, you name it. Scroll down to the bottom, and you get a chance to see the daily videos, the recommended videos, and more importantly, the 5 reasons to unplug from the monetary matrix, with the first one being the awakening period. Step number 1, test your dollar IQ. 10 simple questions, average is 60%. Follow up with the alternative perspective with the monetary reports. Consider becoming a supporter of the Rethinking the Dollar platform via Patreon. Get a chance to hang out off air as well as additional information that can't be discussed on YouTube. Any support is helpful. With the crackdown on alternative media, the best thing to do is connect off air. Scroll down to the very bottom. You can find Rethinking the Dollar on Telegram, audio, Facebook, Twitter, Parler, you name it. The most important ones will be the email list where you can get notified weekly, the Discord page, and make sure you connect on Telegram. And last, don't forget to visit the RTD store where you can get merchandise as well as additional information and resources. And most importantly, scroll down to the bottom and get your weight up with all the limited edition rounds only available on the RTD store.
The next recession.
Recession will be.
Will be a recession.
We're going to hit a recession.
The date of the next recession. A U.S.-only recession typically lasts 8 to 10 months.
A crash is coming. Now, whether it's 6 months from now, 12 months, 36 months, no one knows.
If you have the right plan to set up, you can make a lot of money from this.